Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
Back on live with a new lesson with my guest, special guest, Tabi.
I'm the guest, I am family.
Yeah, I know. You guys know. I presented her last time, so she's family. She's not a guest, yeah. So, today, what's the subject today, Tabi?
I'm excited. All right.
Yeah.
I got to choose the topic today.
Yes.
I run this place. I'm not a guest. I'm just kidding.
That's it.
All right.
She's not a guest. Okay.
All right. Today, I wanted us to talk about the mustard seed.
The mustard seed, yes. We
Yeah.
talk about the mustard seed. About faith, right?
Yeah.
Faith like a mustard seed, yes. Do you have faith as a mustard seed? That's the question. And
Yeah.
we're going to deal with that. And I think it's very interesting. Very interesting subject. I was meditating today about the faith of a mustard seed, and I think it's. I came to some very good conclusion and some very good ideas that, you know what, Tabi? This just came to my mind. When I present a lesson like this, now I present in Romanian, in English. The first one, the main one, the one that's how can I say? The one that's benefiting the most is me. I'm the one benefiting because I'm studying the Bible, not just to present to you guys, but just for me. Even though I do want to put things in order, but you know what? When all of a sudden I say like, wow, this is for me. This like, wow, okay, now. And that's
I think that's what moves me when I see people who are speaking things that are real to them, as opposed to just information. Yeah, that's nice. Let's look at some nice exegesis or whatever. But when people speak from what is their reality and God is showing them like current day right now, that's where it's at. That's when it's real. So that's what this was for me whenever I suggested the topic. Let's read the verse.
Yeah, let's read the verse, and I don't know, maybe you want to read the context from Matthew 17 or just
so Matthew 17:20.
Okay, so this is the verse.
The disciples had tried to cast out a demon from a boy, and they couldn't. And then Jesus did, and then the disciples asked him, "Why couldn't we?" And so Jesus said to them, "Because of your unbelief. For assuredly I say to you, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you."
Wow. So, if you have faith as a mustard seed, you will say to the mountain, "Move," and it will move, and nothing will be impossible for you. Now, why is faith compared to mustard seed in opposed to, I don't know, potato? I don't know.
Well, it's the smallest one.
Yeah, it's the smallest. Exactly. It's the smallest seed. That's what Jesus is pointing. And okay, let's see, Tabi. Okay.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm gonna start. So I heard my brother. He had a message on this, and then something that he said. I think he just said it in passing. It wasn't like the climax of his sermon or anything, but he just said it in passing. Thank you, Chris. And he said, "A mustard seed is small, so it's easily overcome." And just that line, just hearing, it was like, I didn't hear anything else he said after that. It was like, it just like stopped. And it was like that line, it was just like right there. And I was like, oh wow, it's easily overcome. So here's what I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna draw a little diagram. And this was kind of what came to me whenever just that one simple line. All right, I'm gonna draw.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Over here. I've definitely tried this once. There is your mustard seed. Puny little mustard seed in the middle. All right, so this is, I think everyone has a mustard seed of faith. Every believer has the mustard seed of faith.
Yes, the measure of faith, like Romans 12.
They're saved. Okay.
Exactly.
So, but then also inside of us are many other voices, right?
Yeah, that's good. Voices, I like that. Yes.
Voices, things that drive us. Whenever you have a decision to make, what is it that drives you to make that? Your education, your history, your logic, your reasoning, your mom, your relationships, the culture around you, a bunch of things. So there are many other things inside of us. I can write a few of them. I'm going to try going fast. Okay, fear. This is a big one. Fear is huge. Fear of death runs like everything in our lives, but another topic for another day. Logic, education.
Like common sense logic, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Your history, your experience, your upbringing as a child, emotions, huge. And then I have a few others, but I won't write them down. Culture, past revelations that you've had, good revelations that you've had in the past from God, and then other people's voices, your friend, your mom, your whoever. We have their voices, their opinions inside of our heads. Yeah. And this is who we are, right? All of these things. I'll just draw a few more there so you know. There's others. You can probably think of other things. So these are the voices that we hear inside of our mind whenever we have to make a decision, whenever something happens. These are the things that explain to us why it is that tragedy happened in our lives, why that disappointment happened. And so most people want to live from here, from that center, that little mustard seed, but they have too many voices inside of them also competing for like to be the loudest and trying to drive us and rule us and make decisions for us. But so this was kind of the last part of the sort of image that I got was I saw all of these things just kind of like collapsing in and becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until they like fit inside of the mustard seed or like in the shadow of the mustard seed or something like that.
That's a good point.
So it was like, all right, those who are willing to become small, right? Because those who are willing to, this is who you are, your emotions, your history, your fear, your relationships, your logic, your education, all those things. That is the essence of who you are and makes you as a person, right? And to submit who you are as a person to something that is unseen, to faith, it takes humility.
Yeah,
you can't just do that. It's humbleness, it's smallness. And I think that very few people are able to submit all of these faculties to that place of faith. We'll talk about what that mustard seed is. We're talking about submitted to faith. We'll get to that. So I think most people have the mustard seed, but very few people are willing to live from that and let the mustard seed of faith have the loudest voice. To be like, okay, emotions, shh. You've ruled for a long time.
That's good.
We're actually faith is in charge now, and she's the one who's going to lead us. Or your logic. You've lived out of your, logical thinking and explanations for a long time. And, now, logic. Faith is actually in charge now. So you need to submit to that. And I think it is an act of the will to submit all these things to faith. And I think that just very few people are willing to submit it. And you don't need a lot of faith in order to access, like, the resources of heaven. It's a very small amount that you need. Do you want to say something?
No, it's just it's so good. It's so good because these things, like, they are so, how can I say,
loud.
Yeah, they're so loud. They speak so loud. It depends what voice you're listening to. If you listen to your fear, to your logic, to your education, to your emotions, or your history, like you're saying, yes, they will eventually will mock the master seed or the faith, and then that's why
well, it will overcome it.
It will overcome it, exactly.
My brother's line. It is easily overcome. Why? Because we have so many things that are stronger inside of us that just have a louder voice. I was going to give an example here.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I'm deciding now. We are deciding now whether we're going to homeschool our kids, our oldest one, or whether we're going to send her to school. And there's I see inside of myself, there's just so many voices inside of me that are trying to tell me what to do. There's I don't even know where to start. There's logic and things that I've researched online, and people say, oh, this is why school is better. This is why homeschooling is better. So there's that. And then there's my own fears. Oh, I've had some really terrible experiences in school. I'm afraid of that. But then on the other hand, there's also some really positive things that I had in school, and I'm like, oh, I don't want her to miss out on those things. And then I have like if we're going even deeper, I just want my child to be happy. There's that thing. I want her to be happy. I want what's best. And if we're going even deeper, I studied psychology. You can probably tell. But if we go even deeper, I don't want to fail in my upbringing for my kids. Why? Because then I'll be a failure and then I'll be devastated and all this stuff, right? So there's just so many voices, and they're all often, they don't even agree with each other. They compete within each other. And I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so much turmoil in me for this decision that I need to make.
Yeah, so, so you have to become like a little child.
Well, I'm not sure if should I give the resolution? Because I have the example of what it looks like to live in faith in this, like in my situation that I'm in. But maybe I'll save that for the end.
Oh.
Should I save it for the end?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no.
To believe.
No, it's just trust like a child. A child, you just say, he just trusts. He doesn't stay to compare things and no logical things. If you just say, jump and I'll hold you.
I was about to say that.
You know?
Jump, you jump.
He doesn't think about the gravity and the force and the whatever, you know, all the physical laws that, you know, he just jumps.
Yeah.
And that's faith, you know, and
So I think, can we just for a minute talk about what that place of faith is? Because we're saying, oh, like, let faith lead you and stuff like that. But what does it actually mean? What is faith? What is the faith of a mustard seed? What does that mean?
Wow. Yeah, what is that? It's just like, I believe it's, well, we'll see some examples today in some, whatever happens, you know, in the Gospels at least, you know, a few, I don't know, I've 2 or 3 examples here, and we'll see that faith is just trusting the word. That's it. God said yes, you say yes. God said no, you said no. That's faith, and that's humility.
Yeah.
Just say what God is saying.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I think it's your communion with God. So you live from communion with God.
Yeah.
Like you live from the relationship, like we talked about last time. Many people are very uncomfortable to live from a relationship. They want a rule, they want a book, they want things to do and things to not do. But that place of faith is your relationship with God. Okay, I'm gonna finish my homeschooling thing. Is my microphone falling off?
Okay. Yeah. No, it's okay.
Okay.
No, that's fine.
All right. So for me, for the homeschooling thing, there's all these voices, right? And just a lot of fear generally. And I know that I don't want to be led by fear in my decisions because I don't want to live that way. It's not, fear really messes things up and skews reality. So for me, I'm like, okay, I go into that place of union with God and my relationship with God. And I'm like, all right, this is my situation, my thing that I'm dealing with, God, with my child, with my homeschooling or not, and what should I do? And in that place, I hear him say many things. I hear him say, for example, whatever you put your hand to will be blessed. So whether you decide to go one way or the other, I am with you.
That's it.
And so that is like, whoa, okay. So I actually get to choose. I'm free to choose the actual desire of my heart, and it's not skewed by fears and all these other voices.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
And then it's like, and then other things like, my fear of like being a failure as a parent, it's like I've already decided who you are, and that's not the determining factor of your worth and your value. And so basically everything is resolved in that place. The fears that I have, the other voices are just like silenced, and then I'm actually free to think clearly about, in my case, it's a decision that needs to be made. But there are other sorts of things like a tragedy that happens, disappointments, things like that. Yeah.
Well, I think that the thing is, I heard a sermon yesterday, I believe. God did not make us robots. No, He wants us to choose and believing that, yes, He will be with us. Well, obviously, we choose based on His word, and we choose, and God is okay with us, as long as, obviously, we have our mind change, and it's not
we're not talking about sinning.
We're not talking about that, obviously. We talk about homeschooling or not homeschooling,
exactly.
yes, God is, no matter what, He is, we believe that He's with us, and, He's not going to say, wow, you took your own choice, you're supposed to send the kids to school, and now, no. He will never leave us or forsake us, and we live by faith and in faith, and,
All right.
Okay, let's go. Let's see, because I like this guy, and this is my guy that I like it so much. This Roman centurion.
Oh yes.
Roman soldiers. Yes. Okay.
So we're gonna look at people in the Bible
Look, a couple
who
of
had
people.
faith, who Jesus commended for their
Yes,
faith
and
or not.
yes,
and
yes.
That's
So
what we're gonna do next.
let's look. If you want to read, Tabi, maybe Matthew chapter 8, the passage, because I have just the verse here.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm
because.
like 2 pages away. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, let me get my Bible. I have this Romanian English Bible. And that's in chapter 8.
Yeah, verse 5. Now when Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him, pleading with him, saying, Lord, my servant is lying at home paralyzed, dreadfully tormented. And Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that you should come under my roof, but only speak a word and my servant will be healed.
Okay, let me put this verse here now.
Okay.
Because this is something I like to point now.
Excuse me.
I like to point a couple of things now. Okay, because so the centurion answered and said, Lord, I'm not worthy that you should come under my roof, but only speak a word and my servant will be healed. Only speak a word. Now, first thing, the guy, this is not a Jewish guy, okay? He's not Israelite. He is saying that I am not worthy. Based on what? He is not worthy. Okay, he probably, well, obviously, he knew what the Jewish law and stuff like that. And he looked at himself and said, I am not worthy to come under my roof. Okay, but only speak a word. Now, if you're not worthy for Jesus to come into your roof, under your roof, you want him to say a word and heal your servant. That's something. To me,
Like, what makes you worthy of that?
Yeah, what makes you worthy to
Have him speak a word. And...
Exactly. Okay, so Andrei, God bless you, Andrei. God bless you for watching. Okay, now, yes. Now, let's see the next verse. It says that, for I also am a man under authority, having soldier under me, and I say to this one, go, and he goes, and to another, come, and he comes, and to my servant, do this, and he does it. Okay, now, there are a few things that I want to mention here, and we have to be very careful here, okay, because the words are so impregnated with things, we have to take, I believe, every single word and examine, and we have, this is so solid food, I would say, if you take every word. Okay, now, he's saying that, say a word, because if I say to one of my servants, go, he goes, come, he comes, do this and does that. And that is what's so important. That's what this Roman soldier, he saw that. He said, you know what? I say I am under authority, and if I say something, it is done.
It happens, yeah.
It happens. Okay, that's one thing. Now, the other thing is, let's look at the key verse, I would say, the key word in this verse, okay? Because he said that, for I also am a man under authority. Why does he say also? That's something to think about. Because this Roman soldier, this guy, he knew that he is under authority, and Jesus the same. He is under authority, that's why it says under. I also am a man under authority, and continues. And if I say something, happens. I listen to someone above me, and I have people under me. Okay, I am obedient, to the people above me, and then, okay. Now, also means that he knew who Jesus was. He knew that Jesus was not a normal man, no, he was not a normal Jewish person. He was someone who had some very great authority. And all he wanted is just say one word. That's it. You don't have to come. I just believe that your word is going to do the job, so to speak. Okay? That's what the next verse, Jesus is saying. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to those who followed, "Surely I say to you, I have not found such great faith, not even in Israel." Wow, this is something. This is something. I have not found such a faith in Israel. Now,
I think that the man, when he did that, he did something that was unprecedented. No one had ever done that before.
Yes.
And for him to do that was very, like, we read it and we know that, and we're like, oh yeah, we're just used to it because we've read it so many times.
Exactly.
But in his time, it was something that had never been done before. For him to ask that, it was probably very strange and violated a lot of these things.
Exactly.
His logic,
that's it. Violated.
his education,
That's the word.
his, I don't know, everything. His culture.
Yes.
Like he wasn't, I don't know if he was supposed to interact with Jews or not, but it probably violated a lot of those voices that we were talking about.
Yeah.
But he knew, I don't know what his understanding of Jesus was, but he knew something. He knew enough, and he was humble enough. All right, I don't think he needed to know even that much. I think he just needed the mustard seed, and he had to be willing to submit to that.
He didn't have a lot of theology, for sure. Exactly. He was a Roman. He didn't know much. I'm sure he didn't know that much, but he knew that Jesus was the man that could solve his problem. He believed. Just say one word. Okay, let's take it. Let's take in contrast people that were in his hometown. He went to his hometown.
Jesus' hometown.
Hometown. Okay, this is a different picture, different illustration, and this is what people were saying about Jesus. Now we put in contrast the Roman centurion with people that were in his hometown, and let's see what they said. They said this. Okay, you can read this, Tabi.
All right. Is this not the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brothers James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas?
Yes.
And his sisters, are they not all with us? Where then did this man get, all these things? So they were offended at him.
They were offended, yes. Wow, this is something. So this guy, the Roman soldier, let's call him Roman. Close, yeah. The Roman soldier said, "You are a special man. You have authority. You are under God, basically, and I believe that. Just say one word, and it's it. It's over." These other guys, they said, "Well, what's so special about him?" Well, they are not his sister with us. They knew him, Jesus, but they knew him from a different perspective or different point of view, okay? As a man, not as a son of God. And he says, what's so special about this guy? Well, that's what we need to know, that, we have to know that Jesus is, I think we all know that, but to believe that his word is what makes a difference. He said is white, even though I see black, let's say. If he says it's white, it's white. If he says it's black, because he says that. Now, I'm not saying we see black and white, it's quite like that, but whatever he says, we believe and walk on it. That's walking by faith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus was very offensive.
And
he was, I think that there was a purpose in that. Everything about him was offensive, from the way that he was born, the fact that he was born of a human being, like everything from start to finish, the fact that he died on a cross, the fact, like everything, even this, the fact that like he grew amongst people and they knew him since he was young. And they're like, "Are you kidding me? You are the savior of the world. I've known you since we were 3. They said, "What in the world?" It's offensive. It really is. Because it requires humility to enter the kingdom of God.
Exactly.
Unless you become like a child.
You
will not enter. I have the verses here. Jesus says of himself, "I am humble and lowly in heart. The greatest among you shall be the servant. Or all of the Beatitudes.
Yeah.
Blessed are the weak. Wait, I have this written down as well. Blessed are the poor in spirit, those who mourn, the meek, those who hunger and thirst. Those are all small things. They're like, they're not big, grandiose.
Yeah. Small.
You know,
yeah, exactly.
It's like, blessed are those because they will receive the kingdom. It requires getting over yourself and the offense that is in your mind. It's like, this really violates what I thought the Messiah was going to be like. But and you need to choose. Like they needed to choose, these people.
Yeah, that's it.
Or am I going to follow him anyway, or go into that place of faith and trust God that somehow this is going to be all right, or am I just going to be offended and let my offense and logic have the louder voice and follow that instead?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yes. Wow. Yes, that's what it is. It's just believing like a little child. Wow, that's it. Okay, now let's take another illustration, another example from the Bible. It's in Mark chapter 9, 9 verse 21, 22, 23. Okay, it's about this guy that brought his son to the disciples and they couldn't heal him. Okay, and now he went and so the father, Jesus asked the father, verse 21, when Mark 9:21, how long does this happen to him? And he said, from childhood. I mean, he was thrown in a fire or in water in order to kill him. And let's see, the next verse is, it's verse 22. And often, the father is telling Jesus, and often he has thrown him both into fire and into the water to destroy him. But, now he's talking to Jesus, and he's saying, but if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Why I put the verse here is in contrast with the Roman centurion. That guy, he just said, just say one word and he will. Now this guy doesn't say about, he goes, says, if you can do anything. Well, yes, he did have some faith. He did take his son to disciples and then took it to Jesus. Disciple couldn't heal him, but he just goes, he does not have full blast faith, so to speak, or as a master seed, he was overcome, I guess, fear maybe, And then he says, if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us. And then the next verse says, Jesus said to him, if you can believe, if you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Okay. If you believe, things are possible. All things are possible. And then it goes on and is just saying Jesus yes and healed him, and so the boy was healed. But that's to see if you can. He was halfway there. He was not, he was not praised by Jesus, But the Romanian soldier, the Romanian.
That's okay. That's all right.
The Roman soldier, Romanian, we're Romanian, so yeah. The Roman centurion, he was having a great faith, and Jesus praised him as his, And the other person that Jesus praise for having great faith is the woman. And I want to go into Matthew chapter 15 and see that whatever happened there, because that woman,
You want me to read it?
Yes, if you want to read it, Abby, that would help.
All right, Matthew 15, starting at verse 22.
We want to see, go up from the beginning of the passage.
Okay.
Because we want to see the 3 levels that the woman overcame.
Yeah.
And that's why Jesus praised her and said, wow, you have a great faith, like the Roman soldier. So if you want to read the passage, it's in Matthew 15, starting verse. It's a verse there, 25 maybe? 23?
I think it's 22.
Okay, 22, okay.
All right. And behold, a woman of Canaan came from that region and cried out to him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David. My daughter is severely demon-possessed. But he answered her not a word. That's the first offense. All right, so he offended. He didn't even answer her. That was one.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want to say something?
Yeah,
Or are you
yeah, no. Let me say this. Yeah, stop a bit.
Okay.
So this is the first, like Jesus ignored this woman 3 times. First time, she was crying for help, okay, and he just nothing. Didn't even say anything, okay.
Rude.
Okay, here, rude. Okay, wow. Anyways, so this is the first level of rejection, I call it. First level of rejection. He didn't say anything, but she didn't give up. Second, what's the other verse? The next verse.
Right. But he answered her not. All right. And his disciples came and urged him, saying, "Send her away, for she cries out after us." But he answered them and said, "I was not sent except to the lost sheep of the house of Israel."
Okay, so yes, Jesus told the disciples, but where was the lady? She was there. Obviously, she was there. Like you hear what Jesus is telling the disciples is in between them two or whatever. Okay, and she just didn't give up. She just, okay, that's the second level of rejection. Now, not her voice. She wouldn't listen to the disciples' voice. And then she just goes on and on. And then, okay, the next verse.
Then she came and worshipped him, saying, "Lord, help me." But he answered and said, "It is not good to take the children's bread and throw it to the little dogs."
Okay, now she came and the word that came to me when you read now is she worshipped him. She worshipped him like
after he said
after she said that. She didn't give up. She didn't throw stone or, well, maybe, okay, she wouldn't do that, but she worshipped him. But Jesus rejected for the 3rd time. She just said, "No, it's not. Yeah, you worship me, but it is not good to take the bread and give it to the dogs."
Yeah.
That's the 3rd level of rejection. How I put it. Okay, but she didn't give up. What does she say? Now this is the thing.
All right, and she said, "Yes, Lord. Yet even the little dogs eat the crumbs which fall from their master's table."
Yes. Okay. So she does not give up. No, he in a way put her down because dogs don't give the dog. But she doesn't give up. No, she knew something. Jesus is good. He can do it. I'm not going to give up. No. And what does Jesus say at the end? And Jesus answered and said to her, "O woman, great is your faith. Let it be to you as you desire." Let it be as you desire. And her daughter was healed from that very hour. Let it be as you desire. If you have faith, God gives you what you desire. Yeah. And you know what? It's not that you get what you desire. It's the most important thing. Because you have faith, and without faith, the Bible says that, without faith, it is impossible to please God. The woman was happy, and believe me when I say this, Jesus was happy too. God was happy too because she believed.
She overcame. She overcame all of the voices.
All of the voices that we have here, she overcame, and her master seed overcame, and she went and she got what she wanted. And you know what? That's the faith that pleases God. No, don't give up. Just go. Yes, He is going to give me, and He will give you. Well, you don't ask for bad things, We ask, in this case, obviously we know that. But, this is what it is. We have to believe what God is saying.
Yeah.
Jesus is saying that. Okay, maybe you want to say something now.
I have an idea. I do. I have a thought. I was just thinking, honestly, if I was there and I heard this conversation going on, probably after the first one, definitely after the second one, the third one is just like, okay, you have issues, woman. Do you have no dignity? I'm kind of like, What is wrong with you? Like, he has crossed the line.
Yeah,
Why are you still doing this? Like, it's almost like inhumane. It's not like it's actually kind of like, is there something wrong with you? I might actually be like, does this person have some mental health issues to actually still be pursuing this? Don't you realize he rejected you? Like, and then finally he like insults you. Yeah. And you're still going at it. It's like, do you have no shame? Yeah. What is wrong? Like,
shameless.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's like, I have another thought that I thought of like earlier. I think that, so we're talking about the mustard seed of faith, the one that's like in the middle of the drawing. And I think the other ones are the voices of I want to say the world and life and your upbringing, everything, your history, your education, your whatever, and the logic and the way that seems right and all of that. And you need to choose which one you're going to follow. Yeah. Are you going to follow all of these things that make up who you are, your emotions, your history, your fear, your logic, your history, all that stuff? Or are you going to allow faith to rule the day? So that's what this woman did. She actually let go of like... I don't even know how many things were violated in that entire conversation. Wow. But I think like she wanted something so badly. I think that's why it says like the brokenhearted. Yeah. She was devastated because of her child. Yeah. And that brought her to ultimately a good place of faith.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why the humble,
her knees. Yeah, exactly.
It brought her to humbleness. And it was to her benefit in the end, because it brought her into a place of faith where she pursued, where there's actually only one thing that's important.
All these other things that all these other things, just made so small, and she didn't care. No more fear, no more logic, no more whatever emotion. She just went to the center, and yes, I want my daughter to be filled. I want one thing, and that's it. And and this is a very good point. And I was thinking about Abraham. When he was praying or interceding for Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. Oh God, if there would be 50 people, will you destroy? No, for 50. No, what about 40 people? Okay, 40 people, I won't destroy. What about 30 people? What about, wow, and then it comes to 10, like, wow, it's like, we call it like gypsies in Romania, like, come on, man, like, okay, 50, and then 45, and then 40, and then 30, and then 20, and then 10, like, true. Oh, but that's
you
faith.
have no shame.
No, when you
Abraham.
Yes, Abraham, faith, and and then they were not even 10, so Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed. But and the same with this woman, and that's what it is. And what else? If you have any other things, but the main thing that I wanted to say is that, guys, we're not talking about moving mountains. We're not talking about moving, and doing, great miracles, even though it's possible. I don't know about actually moving mountains, but, the mountain can be a sickness, can be okay. But the thing is, if God says a word, I believe that word. If God calls me his son, I believe I am the son of God because he calls me his son. Mm-hmm. I believe I'm his righteousness because he calls me his righteous. Mm-hmm. Jesus was made sin for us so we can be the righteousness of God in him. So what I'm saying is just we have to trust God and his word. His word says, I'm a son, I'm a son. I'm righteous, I'm righteous. No condemnation, no condemnation. Mm-hmm. I'm in Christ, I'm in Christ. And this is what it is. Abraham believed God. And he was righteous because he believed God. And the Bible says that he didn't look at his body. Mm-hmm. He didn't look at Sarai.
That's right. Yeah. That promise violated a lot of things.
Yes, exactly.
It offended,
He went against so many things, like the woman, and he just believed, and he got what he believed. He got it, and he was called the father of faith and so on. And that's what it is with us. God tells us, like, yes, you are my son, you are my righteous, you are a righteous person because of Christ, because we believe in Christ, and obviously we're talking to believers, and we have to believe that and act like that. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes, I am the righteousness of God because he says that. Mm-hmm. believing, acting in faith, and yes, that's it. It's what it is. You know, without faith, it's impossible to please God. And another verse, it came in from Hebrew chapter 10. The righteous will live by faith.
Ooh.
The righteous will live by faith. It doesn't say there, you know, it doesn't say that the unbeliever or the lost people will be saved by faith. Mm-hmm. That's 100% true. But here it's talking about the righteous, the one that's already righteous, will believe by faith.
They will live by faith, yeah.
Yes, so the righteous will believe, will live by faith. Will live by faith, what they say. Okay, so that's what it is. And the master seed is, yes, trusting God, humbling. What's the verse? Matthew 11:29.
I am humble and lowly in heart.
Yes, that's what brings people on their knees. That's what brings people believing God, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and humbleness. It's.
Yes, humbleness is it's something. The woman, if she wouldn't be humble, she would have been a proud person. Say, "Wow, I came here. You made me a dog. I go home. I don't need healing. I don't need." You know, people get so upset sometimes. I don't care. I die, but I'm not going to bow down. You know, or humble myself. But that's what it is. That's what it is. The spirit of humility. It overcomes, and faith. The master seed of faith explodes, so to speak. Yeah.
Well, when everything is like inside of the mustard seed, right?
That's it.
Then it can actually grow. And it's not like you don't have your logic anymore. It's not like you don't have emotions anymore. It's not like you don't have those things, but they're submitted to that realm of faith and to your trust in God. And they are changed. And the things that move you, excuse me, make you give you emotions or whatever, make you emotional, are the things of God now. It's not the things that it used to be. And now, like, your logic is not just the logic of the world. It's like the logic of God and the mind of Christ and understanding and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it.
So practically, I think that it means we have decisions to make, like my homeschooling one, or like all sorts of things that happen to us. We don't understand why certain things needed to happen in a certain way. And we have things that war inside of us. Like, I don't know, a person who's single. Should I get married? Should I not get married? I'm not there, but I can imagine a lot of things. Yeah. Hey, I'm not getting any older. Like, I want a person. On the other hand, there might be fears. The divorce rate is so high. Why do I think I'll be any different than the statistics? What makes me think there's fear there as well? There's so many things, but you enter into that place, and I'm not negating any of those voices, those realities, those emotions, but you choose to submit them in the place with God, in the secret place where you trust Him and you bring it to Him and you let Him tell you about the truth about your situation.
Yeah, yes, in the secret place. In the secret place, exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's humility. Yeah. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching, being with us. God bless you, and see you next time. Tabi.
Bye.
Bye guys. Bye guys.